Hello from Dream Vacations. We look forward to helping you plan a cruise vacation where you can race your friends on the top deck while cruising the oceans, or you can compete with your friends in style with virtual reality racing on board. If cruising is not for you, we can send you to Germany, where you can challenge the ring, or whisk you off to Abu Dhabi to take on the world's fastest roller coaster in Ferrari World. Whatever your dream vacation may be, let Dream Vacations handle the details and make that dream into a reality. Visit us at www.travelwithanangel.com.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
From Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel's final round coverage of the PRL Radical Racing Series Season 14 Championship. Point leader David Unger comes into the season finale having won 4 events, including last time out at Phillip Island. But with a win to his name and a season of consistency, Michael Overbay's 18-point gap to Unger is still very much in striking distance. If Unger leaves the door open, Overbay is there to kick it in and steal the crown. How will it all play out? Find out now, as all the simulated radical racing action from green flag to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Hello and welcome to another GSRC production. High up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye View, it's Soup and Crackers. Yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Amjad Yaman has director duties, armed with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Crackers, David Unger's job is to avoid getting into trouble. Now, today's venue is not going to make that task any easier.
No, it's not, Soup. Not at all, because Parc Jean Jarpeau, better known as Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, right here on the St. Lawrence River. You know what? It's a tough one, buddy, and what a way to end this season. You know, the area here was actually used as a long rowing and canoeing basin back in the '76 Summer Olympics. Now they put the racetrack on the island back in 1978, and you know, it's hosted the Grand Prix of Canada 37 times since it opened, and well, it was won by Canada. Its first race was won by Canada's own, the late great Gilles Villeneuve. Now, it's 13 turns scattered over about 4.5 kilometers, 2.7 miles here on screen. This racing surface creates a blend of high-speed curves and tight chicanes, together with a long straightaway, preceded by a very tight hairpin. but there's not much in the way of runoff here. So that's when we talk about trouble. That wall of champions, the final chicane on this track, a collection point for world champions everywhere. Hopefully, no one competing for this championship gets collected there today. The best way to take a look at this track, though, is on board the GSRC SR8 Radical.
All right, we've got Phil Lake in the GSRC Radical, so let's do a lap around Montreal. Down into the Senna S, it's always tough to execute passes into here. Despite the hard braking, the way the track switches back and forth makes either side defendable. On top of that, it's a car that hates accelerating off of low-speed corners coming from a very slow hairpin. Expect some spun wheels. Then you've got 3 and 4. This is an underrated turn because the corner exit can easily collect the greedy. Immediately, you're sending it through 5, but hold off to the right because you'll want to get lined up for the braking into 6. Every once in a while, you might see a pass into here, but it takes some bravery and a decent pace advantage. Ease onto the throttle out of 7, but also try your best not to give away too much. You're now on the Riverside stretch where you'll get a fair bit of speed. As you come up under the bridge, you'll hit the braking for 8, which is another spot that can occasionally see overtakes made. Try not to climb these tall white sausage curves with how tightly sprung the Radical is. Also, don't drift too wide or you can smack the wall. And now we head towards the only braking zone that isn't a chicane, La Pingle. This hairpin lures a lot of drivers into braking incredibly late, and as such, many will come in too hot. You can pull the over-under, but be sure your opponent doesn't plow into you first. Once again, watch the wheel spin off corner exit, and now you're on the backstretch along the rowing lake. This is the fastest portion of the circuit, and the draft will certainly offer some the chance to catch the car ahead. But if the two of you are side by side by the time you come to the final chicane, you'll probably want to get that sorted out. You've got to be oh so careful with these curbs because you can find yourself added to the wall of champions very quickly. If you survive that, you'll get back on the power and head to the line where you've now hopefully finished a lap around Montreal.
Joe Peak may not be here in person, but we still have his disembodied voice talking and taking us around today's racetrack. You know, the PRL Radical Racing Series is brought to you by Dream Vacations. Dream Vacations provides completely customizable vacation packages from your door to your destination and back. Go to travelwithanangel.com and let Dream Vacations worry about the details. All right, well, it may not be your dream destination, but let me take a trip through the point standings with you. All right, there's David Unger. We talked about him. He has 4 wins so far this season. He has 258 points and that 18-point gap over Michael Overbay. The most important number on that entire chart is the 13 by the droplet on Unger's name. If he were to find disaster, all he's going to get, I call it pocket points, drop insurance, is 13 points. You add that 13 to the 18-point lead he has, that's 21. That is well within reach of Michael Overbay. So Unger's job, as we talked about it early, is to avoid getting into trouble. Some of those other drivers a little far back. Eric Luke, although he has 3 wins, is too far back to really be in contention, mathematically out of it. And then you have the rest of the drivers, Curlin Andrew and Tyler Gore, the Canadian. Let's look at the team championship. And here it's all about left side drive racing. I don't know who Eric Harmon's agent is, but he got teamed up with Unger, and Eric Harmon sits 9th in the points. Those guys lead the team championship for left side drive racing. How about Blown Tranny Racing? They got a pair of Canadians. That's Tyler Gore and Matthew Gunderson. You see the rest of the team. Frawley Auto Body has been up and down the charts. Alpine Star Geodesic Racing, again, up and down. And then having a very strong close is White Flag Racing, which really makes sense. That's what you would expect from a team called White Flag Racing to be good at the end. You know, the best in the iRacing World Championships, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. And you know, ISN is always picking up new viewers, so with them in mind, here's Crackers to get everyone up to speed with the event details.
You bet, buddy. Let's get those details in now. This, of course, is round 10. This is the finale, the grand finale for the Precision Racing League in general. Season 14 is wrapping up. We already wrapped up the trucks last night. We wrapped up the GTEs on Tuesday, and this will be the final round, the final appearance of the Radical SR8. I think I'm okay with announcing that now. They're going to move on, and I believe they're going to the F3. We'll have the Formula 3 next season on Thursday nights, but the setup in this Radical SR8, it's open. They do have a limited amount of fuel in the car, so it will require one pit stop over these 45 minutes tonight, and they have an incident cap of 24. Soup, what happens when you exceed the incident cap? Well, who knows? Because
go to the Amelia Earhart Bar and Grill, baby. That's right, where you go.
That's exactly, and we'll continue looking for them until whenever. So, but listen, everything on the line tonight. It's been a great season. Honestly, I'm a little sad that they're leaving the Radical. This is a beast of a car, but it's also a challenge to drive, and it doesn't pass well. It's tough to pass. When you get in somebody's wash in this car, it is really, really tough to get around, and I think that's what we're going to be seeing tonight. It's going to be, you're going to really have to pick your spots carefully. Honestly, down the front straight, down into the Senna S, might be one of your best opportunities this evening to really get a pass done, is on that front straight or on the back straight leading up to the final chicane. What you don't want to do is find yourself side by side going through the wall of champions. That generally never ends well. You either wind up on top of the rumble strips and your car off in the wall to the left, or you wash out to the right and find yourself planted in the wall of champions. Hopefully that's not the case tonight, but we've got 21 drivers ready to take this on. I'm seeing Glitter Pants is here. He's ready to go. Not in a battle for a championship in this Radical Series, but whenever Jefferson Padavani is in the race, excitement is sure to come.
Glitter Pants. Okay. I'm marking that one down. You know, you talked about the Radicals. We ride looking over the left front fender. For me, it's a car that just looks good on whatever racetrack you put it on. I've never really spent much time driving it, but as a casual race fan, the car just looks good to see out there on the racetrack.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking for a road version. I'm looking for a road version. I want one in my stable of. I want it right next to my '93 Camry.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. You could buy a kit for your VW Bug. You could take all the parts off of it.
The Doom Buggies, the old Doom Buggies, right? You make a Doom Buggy out of it, yeah. Put the ground effects on it, the fiberglass flowers, yeah.
You didn't go any faster, but man, you sure did look good. Oh, yeah. I love this roadkill cam too. This is a good one that Amjad has chosen.
Yeah, and this is that passing opportunity I talked about that you're going to look for coming down the back straight here. The trick is getting the run out of the hairpin. Down on that end of the track, you've really got to be strong, got to maintain the grip. It's all about throttle management and really getting back to the power in time quickly enough without spinning the tires, without spinning yourself around. Because once you spun yourself around there in the hairpin, you really got to wait and be careful. Make sure you're looking at your relative, know where everybody's at on the track, because not a place you want to get the car turned around and get going when all the traffic's coming through there.
Our director has that graphic up for you. Look at that top line, the big names all up top. Now, Eric Lutz is third in the points. He's our fastest qualifier so far. There's David Unger and Michael Overbait. Well, those are the three guys we talked about. 1, 2, 3, and the points not quite in that order, but there they are at the top. You know, Sean, what we haven't done with a little bit of time left before we go to gridding up, let's take a look at the weather, see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, you know what? It's getting hotter. It's a clear day, but it's only 66 degrees. So track can only get so hot. It's at 93 right now. I don't know that we'll get over 100 with 45% humidity. I'm more concerned about the wind. If that starts to gust a little bit, that could get a little scary in the hairpin. And maybe even the Wall of Champions. If it's coming across the track right there, it could do weird things to the car. But if it stays right in that 7 to 9 mile an hour range, I think we might be okay. Again, the track temperature, I don't expect it to get over 100. These cars do get a little bit out of shape when you start getting up around 110 plus on track temps. We'll see how the track comes in. But right now, again, it's only a 66 degree day under clear skies. I expect this to be a lot of fun, good grip, and hard racing today, Super.
18 drivers have put in qualifying time. The entry list has 22 names on it. Jefferson Padavani, one of the drivers not putting in a time, but he's out there.
Yeah, no, he's out there. And I honestly, he's got, half a dozen laps in, but none of them have counted.
There's one.
So, and there it goes. Yes, all right. And it was a rather slow one for him.
Up into 18th.
But, yeah. But the fast guys remain fast. They're all at the top. Luke, Unger, and Overbay. That should provide an interesting start to this race. At the front, 2 rows stay the way they are. Chris Richards is in there. He's sitting 4th and qualifying right now.
A lot of familiar names. There's our point leader, David Unger. He'd like to win, but his mission is really just to get it home anywhere with a good points day. Michael Overbay, the only driver with a chance at the championship. Unger with 4 wins. Overbay has 1 win so far this season. Luke has 3.
Yeah, and listen, I've been on the other side of the action all season, directing this, and I've got to be honest. I have a favorite. I don't want to put the commentator's jinx on anybody this early, Soup. But you know what? I think Eric Luke is going to be strong today. He was strong all practice. They put a little extra time into practice today. This practice session was about 2 hours leading up to this race. Generally, it's only about an hour to 90 minutes max. So today it was up early. Luke's been in here a lot of that time. He's pretty focused right now. And boy, I think it's going to take a Herculean effort by David Unger to get this thing done tonight. So I guess in a way I just kind of picked somebody, didn't I, Sue?
Yeah, kind of sounded like you did there.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? But I'm a fan of them all. I'm a fan of everybody.
Qualifying just about done. And we'll put a closing chapter in on what has been a very exciting season. There you're looking at the Canadian, Matthew Gunderson. And that's going to put an end to it, so let's go ahead to the grid. On the front row, it is indeed Eric Luke. He put in a time of 1:31.8, about a 10th faster than David Unger. The second row is populated by Michael Overbay, still in the championship hunt. He's on the inside of Christopher Richards. Matthew Gunderson, the Canadian we just looked at, is in 5th, flanked by Curlin Andrews. Mark Feil sits in 7th, inside of Eric Harmon. 9th and 10th, that's Paul Wildridge and Owen McLaughlin. Crackers?
All right, and we're going to row 6. It's going to be David Cristelli and Danny Duchesne starting 12th tonight in the number 27 Radical SR8. Ty Gore going to start 13th tonight next to Andy Spicer in row 7. We'll go to row 8. It's going to be David Hebert in 15th. Bill Gilman in 16th tonight in number 96. In row 9, that's Ronald McManus in his number 78. And old Glitter Pants himself, Jefferson Padavani. He'll qualify 18th. The final row here, well, not the final row, but the next to last row, only has Scotty Zerk with a qualifying time in 19th. Jerome Redum will start 20th. And then we got a Joe Walker and William Lee to round out this 22-car field tonight in the season finale, round 10, here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
19 drivers put in qualifying times, 3 did not. We hope that we get a full field out here. They start to grid up for this final event. The sum of our paths and the unswerving punctuality of fate finds us here together in Montreal for this season finale that should be a good one. Beautiful, brightly colored car. You see that yellow one back there, easy for this commentator to pick out. That is Curlin Andrews. See it up there, screen right at the top of your screen. Lord hope that is yellow. I'm getting the confirmation. For those not familiar with the commentator, he is notoriously has a poor set of rods and cones, and if there's a color for me to get wrong, I'm certainly going to be doing it. Look at this shot as we take our drone cam over the top of that field, lined up like a string of jewelry on your wife's nightstand. Look at that. We fly over. It's been a good season. We will say goodbye to the Radicals. They will be missed. Be careful here on the first corner. It's always exciting. One of the rare racetracks where corner number 1 turns to the outside, not towards the center of the track. We will be racing clockwise. The first corner will be a left-hander. Watch out for it. The engines start to harmonize. You know what to do. Gather up the chickens, take cutlery on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. Eric Luke with not the best start. David Unger is going to be on the outside. Careful, boys. You got to get through the first corner safely. They do. Filing into third position is Overbay. Richards and Andrew round out the top 5.
Oh boy, here we go. Already battling up front. Luke able to hold on to that lead off that start. Amazing. As they head through Pont de la Concorde.
Everybody gets through the first chicane cleanly. Now they come up to 6 and 7. Let's see if they can do that here too. Most of the field through this one as well. Sometimes they go too wide. Nice job from everybody. Now they open up as they head towards the right-left combination. That is 8 and 9. Leader gets in there first. Luke, Unger, Overbay, Richards. Oh, a mistake from Andrews, and that's going to let that's going to let Andrew get into 4th, as it was Richards who makes the mistake. He picks up a slowdown penalty.
This will be important here as they get through Lapingle for the first time, Soup. Make sure everybody hangs on to it, doesn't get turned around here. A little side-by-side action back there. Actually, Ty Gore, Jefferson Padavani going at it. Side-by-side off the hairpin.
They head down to one more chicane. Finishing lap number 1. He started on the pole. He's going to get credit with leading the first lap. It's Eric Luke. They get Unger and Overbay follow behind. Curlin Andrew started in 6th. He is now up 2 spots into 4th in that fluorescent yellow machine.
Yeah, it's the banana split machine, Soup, and Curlin already showing great pace here from the Texan.
Makes the color all that more reasonable. Gunderson a little bit on an island of his own there in 5th spot, but my goodness, there is a train behind him. Harmon, Richards, File, Cristelli. What a line they are in. Spicer,
Tyler Gore.
And right back there, Tyler Gore.
Yeah, that was Gore, Soup, around right coming out of turn 6. Lost it.
He was worried about getting into the back of Jefferson Padavani. Padavani was already up 6 spots. Padavani started in 18th. He was racing in 12th. That's the car ahead.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of
here.
Yeah, a little bit of Spartacus racing there as Tyler Gore decided to sacrifice himself, put the car into the grass so that not to damage an innocent bystander.
Yeah, he tried to make that move to the inside, and I think he just cut the wheel a little bit too much. The rear end started to come around on the car, but he's okay now. He's back racing for it all the way back to P13. 16, sorry.
Look up here. We have a pass now. Overbay is being challenged.
I told you, you don't want to go side by side through there, Sue.
Overbay is not done. He's going to make another stab at Unger. Unger kind of takes his half out of the middle. Doing a little Chrissy Hines racing there. Middle of the road, ain't no cul-de-sac. Can't get from curb to curb without some jerk on your back. Now he starts to pull away. Overbay under attack now from Curlin Andrews.
And
a mistake from Unger. He loses 1 spot. He loses 2 spots. He cycles down into 4th.
That was a slowdown penalty, Soup. We're going to get the replay here right now. Go to it here. Unfortunately, he's got to cut it there at turn 5 at Concord. I think he just missed his braking point there, Soup, he just didn't want to turn the car in. We'll go on board with it real quick.
We will
But
ride on board.
That definitely results in a slowdown penalty. He's got to give up those spots. No choice.
Yeah, but if you're David Unger, you got to consider yourself lucky. There are not a lot of places on this racetrack where you can miss an apex so badly and still be racing. Fortunately, he did it where the walls didn't jump out and catch him.
You see it right there on screen, digging hard. Unger overshoots the hairpin, has to go really wide, loses that ground on Curlin Andrew that he had made up going into the hairpin, and on the way out, just loses it. Now he's under threat from Matt Gunderson.
If the racing were to stop right now, and it won't, Unger's still in position to win the championship, although he's made it a little harder on himself. All this going on behind Eric Luke, looking to pick up his 4th win of the season. Very impressive drive from that yellow machine, the banana split car of Curlin Andrew.
Uh-oh, Gunderson.
Oh, there's a pass.
Yep. Gunderson makes the same mistake back there in the hairpin, and Eric Harmon gets around him, Soup.
Christopher Richard now trying to get on to the back of the Canadian as well. Gunderson races in 6th. Padavani's charge to the front has slowed a little bit. He's in 11th now. Still very impressive.
Yeah, so far so good for Jefferson.
Let's go to Owen McLaughlin right there, a few cars behind Padavani. He was racing in, I think, 16th at the time. And this is what David Unger has got to watch out for. This mistake right here. Boom. Owen coming over the mic saying, I'm not sure what happened.
I think maybe he got a little bit too much curb there, Soup, if I'm being honest. I really think that was his Achilles heel on that one. Dang, still tight up at the front, though. The top 4 really only separated at the moment by about a second. Or 2 seconds, sorry.
Yeah, they're all racing
on
hard.
Screen.
The guy who's coming wants the spot back is David Unger as he closes in on the back of Curlin Andrew. Now about 2 car lengths back. We ride on board with our points leader. We've been jumping it around a little bit. Let's enjoy a little bit of racing here from somebody who knows how to do it. Boy, look at the tight confines of those walls. Yeah, it's like Luke Skywalker in the Death Star.
Ooh, and Andrew on the brakes hard there. He's feeling the pressure right now.
Unger's going to take a peek. He's halfway there. He is all the way there. They go beneath the overpass. Unger gets the spot back up into a podium spot. Oh no, he's lost it though. And again, he avoids near disaster. He'll lose another spot, I think. No, Eric Harmon's not going to force the issue. Crackers, all Unger needs to do is get the car to the end in one piece.
Right? Yeah, I know.
He's really scaring us now. That is his teammate behind him. We talked about Eric Harmon having a good agent, somehow able to book him on the same team with David Unger. Well, those two who lead in the points on the team championship now race 4th and 5th. Curlin Andrew, they are coming.
Padavani in, well, actually, I think, I wonder if he is in to serve a penalty. Let's see what he does here. I think he jumped the start, Soup. None of his laps have been counting, and whereas he was making up all those positions, I believe he's got to come in and serve a penalty right now. I think that's 17 seconds, 15, 17 seconds.
Well, that's unfortunate for Help me out. Sprinkle pants, sparkle pants?
No,
What is it?
glitter pants. Sir.
Glitter pants. Okay. Oh, excuse me.
Sprinkle
What was
pants
I
is
thinking?
a new one. Someone may take that on, may use that for next season, Sue. Yeah, Padavani finally away. He decided to go ahead and service the car while he was in there. Honestly, the window's open right now, but the time that he's lost really going to put him in a big disadvantage right now. Unless he can start making up some quick ground, he's got a clear track in front of him, so it's all about him versus the track right now. Man,
Sean,
the front. Go ahead, Sue.
take a look and tell me who you see in 11th position. Up 9 spots. Pretty good run from this guy.
Yeah, Jerome's having a great run today. I'd almost say this is the best run he's had all season in the Radical. Jerome up 9. Again, well, we haven't mentioned it, but Jerome's a Canadian. So who knows? That there may be a home track. He may have some really good experience here. Maybe even some real-world experience. We're not sure. But being Canadian, probably a fan of this circuit. I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but that correlation generally holds true with Montreal. I think in the past we've seen Canadians that run here do pretty well.
Little home cooking.
Yeah, when you start thinking about, tracks in Canada, let's face it, that list is a little limited, Soup, because how much auto racing can they do year-round there? You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What do they put on their French fries, Sean? You were telling me about what's that called?
Well, it's poutine.
Okay.
It's a gravy, like a brown gravy that goes on the fries.
See, that's going to make you go faster. This is going to be
cheese curds. Cheese curds.
Look at this battle for 4th position. There are no team orders, apparently. If there are, Eric Harmon missed the memo as he was really putting some pressure on David Unger. That allows Andrew to drive away a bit.
Okay, I have a suspicion. Maybe Harmon's reminding Unger that, hey, you got a shot at this championship. Get moving, buddy.
Best racing up in front. All the cars kind of stretch out a little bit. So what we're looking at right now is really the best racing going on.
Yeah, the best thing Unger can hope for right now is to clear Andrew, get around Andrew. That's not going to be easy. He's going to find a way to get past him. He's got about 5 seconds of clear track in front of him to go get. He is there. Can he pull off this pass? No.
Probably not the corner you really want to try it on, although let's say I would think his best shot, he's lost a lot of time, would be out of 7, between 7 and 8, as he closes up on him.
I can't stress enough, he's got to get busy. We're about to hit the 30-minute mark. He's still going to need to make a pit stop. The best thing he can do right now, get around Andrew, start to try and close the gap on Overpay and Luke ahead of him. Again, that's about 5 seconds of clear track in front of him that he's got to work with. But right now, proving to get around Curl and Andrew. This goes back to what I talked about in the pre-race. Really, really tough to pass in these cars.
Jefferson Padavani makes his pit stop, comes out, and goes ahead and puts in fastest lap. Now, an interesting dynamic of this racetrack, which we'll talk about here in a minute, is the entrance to pit lane. You can see it as the yellow car of Curlin Andrews comes up. Pit lane entrance is to the outside of the track, and it's right here. And sometimes, if you don't announce it, you can get into trouble.
Yes, you can. We've seen that on several GSRC broadcasts in the past. You have a chance to get run over there if you're not calling out your pit stop here.
Another weird dynamic is if you try to make a pass, as we see a battle now for 3rd, as Unger's going to try to poke it in corner number 1. Not going to happen. If you try to make a pass on the inside of a guy, and the guy on the outside is going to pit lane, his braking point is later than yours, and you can actually get suckered into sticking with him because he doesn't have to brake as early because he's going straight to pit lane. Look at the pass back behind. Richards gets around Gunderson. A battle for 6. We'll get a replay of that one. That was right behind the guys we were looking at in front. And as we come back live, we come back on Gunderson. He's now under attack from Mark File. File gets into him and File spins.
Ah.
Careful, Mark, lock it up. Oh, a great job. He lets Cristelli go around and Wildridge get around.
Watch out, coming through. Danny Duchesne.
Woo.
That was close. I don't think Danny knew he had spin. Danny might have gotten a local yellow, might have seen a local yellow being thrown, but there's File spinning.
He backed it up, but unfortunately when he brought it back out, he brought it right out in front of the banana split car of Duchesne, but it worked out okay. There's the bump. There's the spin. Now he waits patiently. Now we go to Duchesne. You be the driver. Coming through here. Everything looks fine.
Like I said, unless Danny had gotten a local yellow, he really had no idea until he got to the chicane there and did a great job of getting around. So good on him. File, though, able to get back going and keep his car in front of Duchesne.
File was on the hunt. So there you see File and then the banana split car of Duchesne. His teammate, Curlin Andrew, still in third. All this going on behind Luke and Overbay. Little by little, Overbay beginning to reel in Eric Luke a tiny bit. They head down into the hairpin. What is this corner called, Sean? What was that? I had the French pronunciation of that corner.
Le Pingle.
Ooh. I like the barbecue flavor to those.
Oh, yes.
Sour cream and onion is good too.
Yes,
though.
the director and I share that in common. That's yeah, that used to be my favorite. I'm all about the Gouda Triscuits now, Sue.
I understand.
Yes.
Oh!
Oh, there he goes.
Unger. David Unger makes a pit stop, takes the breath away from this commentator.
And his teammate.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at the replay. This is exactly what we were talking about. Here's Unger with a much later breaking point.
I don't think he called that, Sue, based on the reaction of the teammate.
Okay, watch the car in the middle. The yellow car's gonna make the chicane. Unger is not. Watch the closing rate as he's going straight. Woo! One of the weird dynamics here of this racetrack, and it is fun.
And it is a long pit lane, Sue. It's certainly not the longest we see, but it does take a while to travel down there at the, I think it's 35 miles an hour here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and it does take a while for Unger to get back on track. How long? Well, he's already cycled back to 15th, Sue. Comes out in a battle with Jefferson Padovani.
Well, I guess if you're going to be behind somebody, it's going to be behind Padovani, who's pretty darn quick. Maybe that won't slow Unger up. Yeah.
No, I think he got the right car to follow here.
I'm telling you, if I am Curlin Andrew, and I don't want to tell him how to run his race, but I make my stop now. I really don't need Unger back there hot lapping when I can't keep an eye on him. I'd like to see him behind me, but he's going to go around again.
Curlin's had really good pace tonight, but the guys with the pace are Luke and Overbay, and I think are they trading spots up there?
No, it's just Overbay closing in little by little. That gap, all you little soldiers and clip support army. There, I did it for you, Sean. You like that one?
Yes, you did,
second back. I did that intentionally. By the way, that's Soup's clipboard army. Oh, no. An interesting racing line from Michael Overbay. Through the Canadian alfalfa.
I don't think they have fescue in
yeah, no, there
Canada.
he goes.
I don't think the climate suits it, but Overbay overshoots that, and I just did that, didn't I?
He did.
And he'll have a little bit of a slowdown penalty there.
I was out there in mounted Canadian Mountie country.
Getting by
Dudley
Scotty
Do-Right
Zerk.
country. Zerk doing a good job of getting out of the way. We go to P7.
Wilridge. Yep, Paul Wilridge getting around David Cristelli there, Sue. Heading in to the hairpin there, Lapingle. It would be turn 10 on your scorecard, folks.
Number 1 in your heart.
I think I'd find a lot of drivers who disagree with you about that being number 1 in their heart down there.
That car ahead of him is Andy Spicer. He is a lap down, not part of the mix. In fact, Spicer decides to come in and make his stop.
Yeah, that Radical's looking pretty radical right now. It's got a few twists and turns to it as it comes down the pit lane. He'll probably seek to get a little bit of repair on it. And what did that cost over Bay? Right now, Soup, it cost him about 1.5 seconds as we watch Spicer roll into his stop.
I'm going to give you an interval again for you guys keeping track of this one. 46 seconds. That is the interval between the driver in third, Curlin Andrew, and the driver in, where would he be? David Unger in 16th. Remember, they were nose to tail before the stop. Unger came in early.
Yeah, and we thought Unger might... Well, Harmon's had a problem now. Oh, no. He got a little loose, little squirrely on camera there, yeah.
He was chasing Andrew, and then he loses a little gap. Now we look at Tyler Boru.
Yeah. Soup, too much curb. Again, that's not the first time we've seen that down there, and he wraps the Armco barrier. Certain damage to the front end of that machine. This might be a good time for Ty to bring her in.
Crackers, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but the driver in 18th, Scotty Zirk, is that the same Zirk that we see in the Bootleg Racing League, or not?
That would be one and the same. One of the
oh, jeez,
one of the Virginia.
I can't believe it.
He's one of the Virginia boys that we're used to seeing right here Saturday nights on GSRC.
Director, was that actually on screen? I was watching my monitor. Oh, as we put the camera on Scotty Zirk for 15 seconds as he noses it into the wall. The power that I have is frightening. I'm like Queen Elsa. Don't get me mad. I'm going to bring winter to the summertime. All right. There is Luke. Duchesne having an issue.
We got a replay of Danny's little incident here, and you know, Soup, Danny right there misses, gets in a little bit hot. You got to try and slow the car down, and a little bit of braking and a little bit of turning results in that spin, but he doesn't hit the wall, so he avoids certain danger there and still manages to keep David Hebert behind him.
Again, if you can do that on this track, that's a hard bullet to dodge. Nice job for Eric Luke. Okay, I'm sorry, for Duchesne, for Danny Duchesne.
We've been asked to stop commentating, Soup. We stop talking about the drivers. I don't know how else to interpret that other than just stop commentating. So here you go. We'll roll on in silence for 23 more minutes. There we go.
They could have used me back in the 40s for World War II. I could have. Too bad some of those dictators weren't sim racers. I could have ended the war early. Didn't know how to finish that point and still be politically correct. So let's just. All right, what are we looking at here? Oh, this is Unger.
Yeah, he's starting to fall off, Soup, and I wonder if he's just used it up. We did see a car cut through right there, actually, in front of them. I do see File has come in for his stop. But yeah, Unger starting to lose some serious ground back there, and boy, starting to make this, again, when he came out of his stop, I just figured he'd follow Padavani all the way up to the front, and he's, I don't know if it's a case of Padavani just being that fast. It may be a little bit of that. Jefferson certainly having a solid run right now after finding some trouble early, having to take that early pit stop. Again, I think he'll be okay to the end. He got his service while he was in, and it was about 36 minutes left to go. The window is slightly cracked open right there, so we'll see. He'll certainly be pushing it right to the finish line.
The problem I have, and we can go back and take a look at Unger again, is as the car goes off in front of him. This is what I'm talking about. Just having an off was David and Bear. Unger's back there racing. If you're an Unger fan, you'd prefer him to be up there racing with guys he's familiar with. You know, Luke, Overbay, Andrew, Harmon, for that matter. He's back amongst it right now.
The gap to the front for him, 56 seconds just about, Soup. So
Yeah.
a lot of work for Unger to do. The bogey time on those pit stops right now sitting somewhere right around mark file. Let's see, what was it? Flag to flag for him was about 55 seconds. Overbay goes in too deep right there, Soup. Now he's losing ground to Luke.
Oh, and look at this card of number 217 out of the Wall of Champions. There he is. He was having such a good run. I don't think he lost the spot, though.
No, he's not going to lose that spot because File's the one behind him who just came out of the pit stop, and he just wraps the curb coming over there and gets the car spun around. No contact made. He already had a little bit of damage on the car, but he gets it righted, gets it turned around, clattering back over that curb to get going again, though I do know in these radicals that could cause a little bit of damage on the car, so he may be fighting it the rest of the way.
We are past the halfway mark.
Padavani is moving, man. He is he's closing in on Danny DeShane pretty quickly here, Soup. He's finally caught some of the bigger traffic in this field. Guys that are still looking to make a pit stop. So again, Padavani pedaling hard. And it looks like Jerome had some more trouble back there.
And it starts to go south for the Canadian.
Yeah. Again, I think he was fighting that car, Soup, and he got up over the top of the curbs. And you're going to watch the car just comes around on him, just got all out of shape and around. And he's back into the pits.
And he blinked away. He did go back into the pits. Oh, he towed.
He towed in, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sean.
Andrew just made a huge mistake, actually, as I was watching live. He makes a huge mistake, kind of opening the door for Harmon a little bit. Here comes the New Yorker. That's a good classic battle right there, Texas versus New York. Both very close to my heart, Sue.
That's good. State taxes are better in one than the other, but other than that.
No, there is no state tax in one.
All right, there's a pit stop from the other team leader there as Eric Harmon comes in.
Athletes love playing sports in Texas, Sue. And here comes Harmon.
That's right. So both of the left side drive racing guys have come in to make their stops. And while that's going on, you're looking at Unger. This will be a good indication as Unger was actually ahead of his teammate before the stop. I just don't think that Unger's going to be able to do the undercut. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. I mean, he's just now
Harmon is rolling.
The Dodge Bridge there. Harmon's rolling. He's got to get through the Wall of Champions.
Now, it is an interesting pit exit as you actually exit in like corner number 2, but yeah, boy, he's nowhere to be
Unger's not
seen.
gonna get there.
Yeah.
He did come out behind Padavani. That's about 2-second gap.
See, now that's what's interesting because if you remember at the stop, Unger came right out behind Padavani. And so if Unger would have been able to have any kind of pace, he should have been there. All right.
With some of the trouble that Unger had, he may be fighting a bad handling car right now. That may very well be part of it. He may have done some under tray damage or some of the damage to some of the front end suspension. So certainly a big deal for him. Luke under threat from Overbay, though, as they head down in the center. Oh, man.
Keep in mind that Overbay had already ran him down once, then made that mistake, fell well back, chased him down again. Now you get to the point where you can, it's like an NBA team, a basketball team trying to close the gap, and they use all their energy to get there, and then they end up not being able to finish the job. You got to wonder how much of the car Overbay is using up to try to chase down Luke not once but twice. But he's there again. Pit stop still for both of these guys. Oh, we got some front runners coming in. Wildridge, Tristelli coming in. Gunderson, Duchesne. Strike up the band. It is a pit party. Okay. And look at that. Padavani cycles out in 7th. Now, assuming that his pit stops are done, and he was able to make a real pit stop when he had to come in and serve that penalty.
You know, he served his penalty. He got service. Again, I don't. It was so close to the window. It's going to be hard to tell at this point. Overbay is in, Sue.
This one is important. He was only 3 car lengths behind Luke when he comes in. Also coming in is Andrew. Christopher Richards comes in from way back. So while we don't expect Overbay to be pressured, I guess Andrew maybe might have something to worry about from Eric Harmon, perhaps. That could be a challenge.
Well, Padavani is on the back straight now in Casino, heading down to the Wall of Champions.
Overbay is rolling. Here comes Harmon. That would be the battle, I think. Andrew comes. Okay, Andrew comes out. Overbay comes out. And Andrew comes out in front of Harmon by quite a gap.
Yep, and that split everything up.
There you go.
And Padavani made me eat my words. He's back in the pits, so time to get some service top row.
Yeah, I had a hunch.
It was a quick one.
I didn't think you could serve a penalty and get service at the same time, or if he did, it would not be in the pit window, so he comes back in, so he'll slide down. If you're a fan of bananas, let's look at the driver in 3rd. This is Danny Duchesne and his teammate behind him, Curlin Andrew. Now, the bad news is for Duchesne, he still needs to make his stop.
Yeah,
Our leader is in. Okay, this is important. Luke is in.
Yes.
Overbay out of the barbecue Pringle corner.
He's getting through Casino now, making the long trip down to the Wall of Champions.
Luke finds his box perfectly. Overbay just car lengths behind. Through the Wall of Champion is Overbay. Eric Luke's got to get it going.
Still not moving.
It's a long way. Pit entrance. You don't get back.
Well, he's past him.
All right,
now
he's past him
rolling.
here. But here's the weird pit entrance, and sure enough, it's the undercut. Michael Overbay, your new leader. Eric Luke now in 2nd. Pit stop times in the box. 14.2 for Overbay, 16 flat for Luke. About the same interval, cone to cone.
Luke's got him in the crosshairs, though, Soup. It's not an insurmountable task to make up 9/10 of a second right now.
To quote Shakespeare, something is fishy in Denmark. The Chicken Little, sky is falling. Not enough fuel pit strategy from Michael Overbay. 2 seconds. That's a lot of time.
Soup, that's funny. I thought that strange things were afoot at the Circle K, actually.
There you go, too.
Something else.
That's the other Shakespeare. I haven't read that one yet. Unger has cycled into 6th. Wildridge in 7th. Hey, we're done. How about a through the field, Sean? Do them 3 at a time.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Eric Luke is your leader. Oh, no, let me apologize. Let me get the update. It's Michael Overbay. I know how this works. Michael Overbay did the undercut. He is your leader, but only by about, 8 or 9 car lengths on Eric Luke. It's a 10-second gap back to the banana split driver of Curlin Andrew in 3rd. Crackers?
Right. Soup. Then we've got Eric Harmon. Not to be confused with Eric Carmen. Eric Harmon, the New Yorker, sitting in 4th right now. Right behind him, well, maybe not right behind him, but about 6.5 seconds back, you're going to find Matthew Gunderson and he gets through the wall of champions safely there as David Unger is in hot pursuit, trying to at least get to P5. Won't help him in this championship battle, but right now he's got a lot of work to do, and then we'll drop back to, well, that was my 3. You take the next 3, Sue.
Up a position, actually up 2 positions into 7th is Paul Wildridge. He's got quite a gap, almost 9 seconds back to oh no, I've done it again.
Yes,
David
you have.
Cristelli.
We got a replay of it, Soup. Don't worry, we'll get to look at it live here. Well, no, we'll get to look at it in replay.
All right,
Here it comes.
I hope he spun before the before the director actually put the camera on him. There it is.
Curb. Again, just curb. The curbs here proving deadly on the Radical SR8 tonight.
All right, all you friends and family of Mark File, I apologize, but I now have to talk about him. He races in 9th. See him there? Let's quickly get the camera off of him. Sean, who you got in 10th?
Well, hoping not to jinx glitter pants. The Brazilian currently sitting in 10th, Soup, so he's still picked up 8 spots in this race, but he's got a long way to go. If he's got any chance of catching the leaders, the best he could hope for is a little bit of trouble up there. But strong run by the Brazilian tonight. Danny Duchesne sitting there in P11, Soup.
One more driver in P12. That is Tyler Gore. I'm going to run through these cars on the lead lap, then get back up to the front. David Bear in the Baker's Dozen position. Hey, we got a battle with Joe Walker. We'll keep an eye on this one. In fact, let's stay on it for just a minute.
Hey, here comes Walker.
Joe, make your pass, because I got to get up to the front here, but nope. We'll stay on this one. Let me take a peek, because Luke was running down Overbay. It's okay. We can still watch this battle a little bit longer. I got one eye on the lead battle and then one eye on this one right here.
That's a couple of mid-south drivers going at it there, Soup. Who knows? They could be neighbors. They could be sitting in the same room. We don't even know.
Good battle going on. Let's stay with it until they go through the chicane here, and then we'll get off of it. We're gonna go up to P5 real quick. Take a peek at this one, because this is heating up too.
Well, it was, and then Unger made a mistake. Again, just over driving the car right now, and his attempt to get up to P5. But a mistake by Gunderson, a little bit wide there on the hairpin, opening the door a little bit for David.
All right, now I am going to take you to the lead, because it's getting some interesting stuff going on here. Our leader is Overbay. Chasing him is Look, but look what he's got in front of him. That's Andy Spicer, who pulls the car over and parks it. Next Backmarker United meeting at your local chapter. If Andy Spicer's in there, make sure you give him the comfortable chair. Nice job if he gets out of the way. Joe Walker now trying to do the same. That was the battle we were just looking at a while ago, or that was Walker in a battle with no, that was it with Hebert. Yeah, and now they come up on Hebert. Oh, my goodness. David, where are you going to put the car? You can't make it invisible. It has mass. Oh, well, get a slowdown penalty. That kind of will solve the problem. So they go by, and I think you're going to be able to get it back up to speed before Joe Walker gets there. Oh, my goodness. An incident back here. It involved... Is this... Was it Padavani? Am I looking at this here? Or let's see if our director has found it. 2 separate incidents is what we're fighting. Oh, there it is. We'll look at it from the top. Yeah, the car in front, that is Cristelli. Padavani spins, rolls back out onto the track, and for some reason, a little sympathetic spin from Cristelli. Padavani's got to be wondering, what did I do? How can I have hit you? Okay, we come back. 6.5 minutes of racing to go. Michael Overbay doing all he can possibly do to win the championship. He is out in front, looking to pick up his second win of the season. The guy he is trying to chase in the points, well, that is David Unger. And Unger, let's go to this 5th place. My goodness, this is the last thing Unger needs.
I'm on it, Soup. Yeah, he is. Well, he's in the S. And he's right behind Gunderson now, trying to pull off a pass. And can he get it done?
And Wildreach is right back there as well.
Oh,
going off.
Yep. And Gunderson, I don't know if that was a bail. That might have been a bailout, Soup. That might have been a bailout by Gunderson.
Sometimes the reputation of the driver in your rearview mirror will cause you to miss the apex. But look at this. Wildreach now on the back of Unger.
That happened to me just today. I had a guy named Dexter Castro in my mirror, and I said, you know what? I'm bailing out of this. Yeah, just go.
Now, as we go back up to the lead, this is really close.
It really is. It's going to be a great fight to the end.
Let's go to 5th. Unger's going to be passed. Boy, I just don't know the math. I think 6th position is still probably enough for Unger to get the championship. But, boy, look at that. Unger puts up a fight. Does not surrender it to Wildreach. I wonder. I bet you Unger knows the math better than I do.
Don't worry. We got people out there that know math, that are paying attention to the math. We won't have to do any heavy lifting as Unger slides through there.
Oh, mercy.
He's torturing his car. I mean, you might as well. You know what's uncertain.
You know that Michael Overbay's coming over the mic right now and talking to Paul Wildreach, saying, David Unger thinks your sister's ugly. Just trying to get Wildreach. Just trying to get Wildreach on
get in his head.
Yeah,
get in his head. Let him know you're there.
Up front, this battle continues. My goodness, excitement everywhere.
With 4 minutes left, it might be hard to actually leave the lead because Luke is just so close, just really on the pins right now.
Oh, Jefferson Padavani.
It ended bad for Padavani. Oh, Glitter Pants finds some trouble tonight. Not the first time, unfortunately, but listen, he had bad fast pace, but
that's the second time. He hit the wall earlier, and then that's kind of the consequences of the earlier hit.
Would you call that an Opie crab or an Alaskan king crab, Soup?
That's a little euthanasia for him. He needed to be put out of his misery. That car he was having a hard time this race.
So we went from crabs to euthanasia.
Yeah. Boy. That's some low-hanging fruit. I will just move on. Our friend Overbay and Luke.
Yeah,
for Luke, this is truly a case of trying to milk the rooster here. The hard part starts after you catch it. He's right there, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to get around Overbay.
It's going to be tough. I keep going back to what we talked about in the pre-race. It's so incredibly hard to pass with these cars. Even though you're on a straightaway, unless you get a tremendous run out of the hairpin, you're just not going to make up the time.
Let's go to 12th real quick. This is far a little bit back. Just making the pass was Abear on Walker. Walker wants it back. These guys have really been fighting. Let's see if Walker takes a shot into the chicane. He does not. We can leave that one now that it settles down.
Actually, he decided to bail out of it and let... who is that went through there? Was that Curlin?
Andrew.
Curlin,
third place driver. This has been a fun race if you're one of the two-dimensional fans that came to see this excitement all through the field.
I believe Dale Jr. and Steve Myers are down there watching somewhere. I believe so, yeah. They're in the crowd somewhere. They usually find a really good spot to watch the race from.
They seem never to have to pay for their seat, I've noticed when they're in there.
They have credentials.
Yes, they're standing somewhere. Mm-hmm. Under 2 minutes of racing to go. Lap times are 1:32. I think we're going to get this and one more. Oh, here's a pass for the lead. Here comes Luke. He's going to put it in there. Not going to happen, but he's got a chance for the dipsy-do, the hucklebuck, the up and under. No, he does not. He cannot find the good drive off of that hairpin. He's in the toe, though, Sean.
Yeah, and they're going to get the white flag right here, Soup.
Overbay, look at him protect driver right. Are they going to go side by side through this final chicane? You can't do that. Watch the drive off, though, for Luke. Well, he does not get that as Overbay pulls away. White flag one more time around. Great race. Evenly matched drivers. Behind these guys, it's Andrew comfortably in third. We don't need to go there. Eric Harmon in fourth. Unger settling down in fifth, but he does have Paul Wildridge behind him.
Wilward's not giving up on this. Not at all, Soup. Still continues to battle Unger back there. A thorn in his side. On board, though, with Luke.
I don't know the math. I don't know if that pass is important or not. I have a feeling David Unger does. He knows. Overbay up in front. We're going to be able to follow Overbay and Luke across, and we're going to cut right back. We'll assume that Andrew and Harmon come in third and fourth. We're going to jump right back to that battle between Unger and Wildridge, because that's a fun one. Out of the final hairpin now are our leaders. I think Eric Luke is too far back to make anything happen. Unless Overbay misses a shift. This thing is done. They go to the final chicane. He's won once before this season. He goes right. He goes left. The season finale here at Montreal is going to go to Michael Overbay. Eric Luke takes second. Andrew and Harmon will get third. Let's go back to Unger. This one is close. Wildridge is in front of him. Wildridge has made the pass. Unger wants it back. Unger moves to the inside. Wildridge does not defend the inside. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? Too wide through here. It's going to be a drag race out. Wildridge does a great job of staying off of Unger. Unger will get fifth. Paul Wildridge gets sixth. Holy smokes. Gunderson, File are going to come across.
Wow.
Danny Duchesne in the last car. Oh. Danny Duchesne, the last car on the lead lap is going to be Tyler Gore. Holy moly. Mama, cover my eyes. I've seen enough to know I've seen too much. As Tyler Gore comes across, they close out, Sean, the season with a bang.
Boy, a bang indeed, Soup, but I think it's maybe time to catch our breath.
The racing is over here in Montreal, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, crown a champion before we put the lock on the gate for the final time. You're watching GSRC on IESN.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
streaming cyberspace into your place on the iRacing Esports Network. From Circuit Gilles, Villeneuve, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel's final round coverage of the PRL Radical Racing Series Season 14 Championship. And my gosh, did they close out the season in fine form. Excitement through the entire field, throughout the entire race. Passes for the lead, passes for the championship. Let's give you the finishing order right now. He started third on the grid. He worked his way up to the front, Michael Overbay, but Eric Luke did not make it easy. Overbay picks up his second win of the season. Eric Luke comes home in second. Curlin Andrew in that yellow car was third for most of the race. Eric Harmon got around his teammate, and he finishes fourth. David Unger finishes fifth, and we'll have more news on that in a while. It was a battle on the last lap between Unger and Paul Wildridge. Wildridge gets the worst of it as he comes home in sixth. Matthew Gunderson in seventh. Mark Feil, Danny Duchesne go eighth and ninth, and rounding out your top 10, last car on the lead lap. Don't you like it when the drivers cooperate? Put all the cars on the lead lap on one graphic. That is Tyler Gore. Crackers?
Well, and it was that big Mid-South battle. Just behind them, David Hebert going to win it. He'll finish P11. Joe Walker going to finish 12th in his Radical today. Ron McManus, Soup, I don't even know if we talked much about the Club West driver today. Sorry about that, Ron. He'll finish 13th. David Cristelli, the only New Englander in the field. David will finish 14th. Glitter Pants falls hard. Does wind up with a positive three spots forward, but a 15th place finish. And now I'm thinking not the finish he was looking for, but pretty good run for the part-time driver here in the Radicals. Chris Richards will finish in 16th. Andy Spicer, 17th for him. Jerome Berthoum, the League Series Grand Poobah organizer. He is the man, the point guy. He'll finish 18th. Owen McLaughlin, he's finishing 19th today. Scotty Zirk, 20th. We'll see him on Saturday night in the Bootleg Racing League. William Lee, 21st. And Phil Gilman is going to be the last car in this field, Sue. But great championship. And, well, you've got a winner to talk to.
I do indeed. Let's go ahead and talk to our race winner, Michael Overbay. Michael, before we talk about the race, I've been doing the math. I think the distance between first and fifth is not enough. I think David Unger is the champion.
Yeah, I'm short. So. Yep.
Nevertheless, you did all you could do. It was a great race to watch. You were not free of making mistakes out there today.
Yeah, when I was behind Eric, I just got a big arrow push and kept locking the brakes up to try to get it to stop, and I was having a heck of a time, so I kind of backed off of him a little bit before the pit stop and was hoping to get a good run, doing a lap earlier than him and hopefully to come out ahead of him, thinking as I did, and then I made a mess up with 2 laps to go and had to defend him off, and then after that it was good to go. But the car was really good, though. That's actually the best car I had at the end of a race. It wasn't near as slippy as it normally is in this car.
You beat him in the pit box by about 2 seconds. Was fuel close, or could you race full song after the pit stop?
I actually overfueled, so I had another 3 laps of fuel.
Wow, so you must have been really surprised to do the undercut there.
Yeah, I misread how many laps it said that we had to go, and I took the extra, and I'm oh crap whenever it switched back, and I was like, I'm done now. Derek's got me. But no, he must have messed up coming in the pits is all I could.
Well, congratulations on the win, your second win of the season, second place in the standings, but that David Unger, he's pretty tough customer.
Yeah, congratulations to David Unger and also to the podium and Curlin. Great job in getting a podium. And I would like to say thanks to my Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing, sponsored by GoPro Race Team. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys do a great job.
All right, we hope to see you back next season in whatever car they decide to race. Good luck the rest of the way. That is Michael Overbay, our winner today, but not our champion. Crackers, who you got?
Well, you know what? It comes to me to talk to Eric Luke. And Eric, what a tremendous run tonight, but it doesn't result in a win. How you feeling about that run?
It was stressful fun would probably be the easiest way to put it.
Stressful fun. I like that. I'll have to remember that one. All right, I'm going to ask you maybe an obvious question, but what do you find to be the most challenging part of this track? I was really excited to see this on the calendar as the finale, but from a driver's standpoint, one, what's the most challenging part? And two, is this the track you want to see for a finale?
I can tell you, and I know my results don't show it, but I really do not like this car track combination. It's very, very difficult to drive. And one of the things that just kind of messes with my head is that there's 5 turns on this course where you are literally accelerating towards a wall. And that can just get kind of unnerving at times.
Well, we definitely saw several cars get unnerved tonight, and even old Glitter Pants had some trouble back there and couldn't even finish. The curbs here can be really, really hell on this car, can't they?
Correct. You can, especially the sausage curbs, you hit those and you have to release the throttle. If you're on the brake, you got to let go of the brake. You basically have to try to keep the car as neutral as possible if you hit one of those curbs, including taking the steering input and trying to get it back to center. Otherwise, it just spins you out and you're toast.
Well, I'll tell you what a great race. What a great season it's been. Are you going to make the jump over to the Formula 3?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Already started practicing, so I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you guys, what you did for us this season, and congrats to Unger on the championship.
Well, Eric, congratulations to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you here next season. You take a little time off and get ready in that Formula 3. We can't wait.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I get the pleasure to talk to the final podium driver and driver of one of the 2 prettiest cars out there on the track. Of course, I'm talking to Curlin Andrew in that yellow machine, number 12. Curlin, congratulations on a podium. Hard fought.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You were back there. Boy, you had quite a battle. You had Harmon behind you, and you had Unger in the mix. Were you a little worried when you saw Unger pull off for that early pit stop?
Yeah, I thought he was going to try to do an undercut because I sensed at that point of the race I was holding him up, and the fight was not with me; it was with Overbay and Luke, who were running a bit ahead of me. So I figured he was thinking he could run much quicker laps if he can get clean air, so he ducked in the pits early. I was expecting when I pitted to come out behind him, but I was quite surprised when I remained in third.
A lot of drivers made mistakes out there, picked up slowdown penalties. How'd you do? I thought you were pretty clean for most of the race.
Yeah, I just looked at the statistics in iRacing and 0 incidents, and it looks like I was running quicker than the 2 guys ahead of me. I don't understand how come I was 16 seconds behind.
Well, I thought you were clean, and I guess I'd like to have be confirmed right on that one with 0 incidents. Hey, congratulations for this 3rd place win in the Radicals. We hope to see you in another series down the road. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Curlin Andrew, your 3rd place finisher today. And now, Crackers, you get the honor of talking to a very special driver.
I do. The champ is here. Congratulations, David Unger. It probably wasn't a perfect race for you. In fact, you were fighting pretty hard the whole way. But you're good. You're celebrating middle of the day here on Friday down there in Australia. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm still taking deep breaths. I still can't believe that this has actually happened. It was such a terrible race for me. In the end, not so bad.
Yeah, and I didn't want to. I just didn't want to say it was a terrible race for you because you just won a championship, man. But man, that was rough out there for you tonight. Would you say this was the roughest race you had all season?
Oh, by a long way.
By a long way.
And it all started right at the start when I took off. And, I got through the first 3, 4, or 5 corners and then realised I didn't have enough.
I think Soup wanted to follow up with something. Go ahead, Soup.
David, it's Soup here. Had you done the math? Did you know what spot you needed to finish in to get the win? If Overbury did end up winning like you did?
No, not at all. And I want to say thank you to Curl and Andrew because early on in the race I was chasing him, and I was obviously desperate to get past him and keep in contact with Overbay and Luke. And he said to me, "Go easy, Dave. You only have to finish 5th." So at least I knew where I stood at that stage. So thanks very much to Curlin.
That's a great story. You got a little help from the competition. Boy, you were in it though, because you were behind Wildridge there for a while.
He gave me hell. I'm like, dude, do you want me to win this or not? Got sort of fairly early on, I started to realize, no, he doesn't want me to win.
All right, go ahead.
But that last pass, well, that was born out of desperation. It was either do or die.
As I guess it's here as we've lost Sean. I'm still with you, so I guess we'll cut this. Let's get. Oh, you're still here? Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to follow up and take it to the end there, Soup.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think we lost David. Let's give one more shot there. David, congratulations on the win on the championship as well. It was closer than it needed to be.
Thanks, guys. Are you still hearing me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you, Dave.
Oh, good stuff. Hey, listen. Thanks very much, guys. It was just a great season all season. The PRL guys are a great bunch of guys to race with. The whole league is run fantastically by Jerome. Just an awesome experience. This is my first season with these guys, so it was really, really, really enjoyable. And you guys, well, I mean, I passed the link out to the races to friends and family all over the place, and they all said they couldn't believe how professional you guys are and how realistic you make the races and all that sort of business. And look, thank you to you guys. You did a great job.
Thank you, and congratulations on the win. There are on the championship. David Unger, your 5th place finisher today, but he did all he needed to do. Sean, let's drill down on this for a minute. If you remember coming into that final corner, if it is true that Unger needed to finish 5th to win, he was in 6th for a while with Paul Wildridge ahead of him. That pass was made going into the final chicane. That might have been the pass for the championship, but the numbers were right.
Ultimately, that very well may be what wrapped it up. But he wins this championship by 9 points. And again, I can never say it enough. What a season. Incredible run for these guys.
Yeah, there you go. I think that was a little bit of a cushion. I don't think he had to worry. I think 6th place would have been fine for him. That's going to do it for us here. Hey, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Dream Vacations. Check them out at travelwithanangel.com. More thanks to the great folks at iRacing Esports Network. On screen now are just some of the equipment and software used to string cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our iconic music. See the screen to get a hold of more of her great work. With the season finale now in the books, this concludes GSRC's coverage of the PRL Radical Racing Series Season 14 Championship. We hope you enjoyed our work, and if asked, and I think we will be, we'll be back, return for another season, Season 15, in a new car. Check us out then. Sliding across your screens now are just some of the upcoming GSRC broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including when this series will return, go to globalsimracingchannel.com or check us out on social media, GSR Channel, Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Sean, Amjad, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as we saw Michael Overvey pick up his 2nd win of the season and David Unger clinch the championship. Congratulations to both here in Montreal. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.